Welcome back, Screamers, to another episode of Scream Kingz. I am TaMon Kane, and we have all my kings in the building tonight. Can y'all hear me? How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. How you feeling?
I'm
I'm
great.
feeling pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We know you are.
Okay, guys, come on. We have guests. Don't act like this in front of guests tonight. We have
That's okay.
brother Ryan, author of There's Something Wrong in Morganton County, hanging out with us in the building. Ryan, tell us about you. Tell us about your book. Tell us all about it.
Hey everyone, I'm Brother Ghoulish. Well, I'm Ryan, but I go by Brother Ghoulish online. Right now, I'm talking about the Twilight Zone on TikTok, and I published my first book a year ago now, which is crazy. There's something wrong in Morganton County, which is 12 short stories with queer people of color leading it, and you can find it on Amazon. Buy it, independent. Buy me a
You all,
coffee by buying that book.
you all
Period.
have a copy.
Mm-hmm. Mine's on the shelf with the other black authors at the moment.
Oh,
Right. Scream Kingz approved.
Yes.
Mhm.
thank y'all.
Absolutely. All right. So tonight we have a real fun time. Our topic is a little different for us, but we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to talk about cults in horror. Cults in horror. I thought we don't have a.
Oh, we're drinking.
Oh.
Well,
Is that? Yeah, there we go.
our drinking game is when you hear that word, pull up your cups and take a sip,
Okay.
and we'll be ready to go. All righty, so let's
Not
kick
it's
it
spilling
off.
already.
It's happening.
I wore my white robes to try to indoctrinate y'all into my cult.
Oh,
All right.
what's the name of your coat?
NFTs.
Oh,
Oh God.
please tell me what it stands for, please.
I'll save that for later.
That's after induction.
Yeah.
Okay, so what really makes cults scary? That's a it's always makes my skin crawl when I think about cults in horror movies. What about you, Bobby? Why?
Cults. Cults to me. I mean, they're scary in general because it's just the mystery of it all. Because there's all different types of versions of cults. You know, there's sex cults, religion, etc., etc. And a lot of them aren't good. I don't like following a leader type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That part to me is actually really scary. Um, because I would say a lot of cults are the people that's following the leader are led to be driven to do things that aren't, I guess, right in a sense. A lot of it is delusion, in my opinion. This is my opinion. And sometimes it's just I'm not gonna say a form of craziness, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I've seen a few cult movies like we all have. That's why we're here. And a lot of it is just hard. Like one of my picks tonight is even like a show. I'm not gonna talk about it now. And necessarily it's not a horror show,
Mhm.
but being as though that it is a cult show, um, there's some horrific things going on within.
Yeah.
And the things that I'm seeing in that show, even though the acting and the person is who made it is very interesting,
Oh God.
very interesting. Watching the show, it was very scary to me because it's just once you get into something, you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them say, "Oh, you can leave in your own will," but in most cases, "Oh yeah, you can leave," but then they'll kill you or they'll do something, sacrifice or whatever the case may be. So it's all just, yeah, it's delusion, it's craziness, it's chaotic, it's just a whole bunch of things that the unknown too. It's just a lot of unknown things within cults that I'm just scared of as well. So yeah, that's what makes it scary to me. I don't
For
know if I'm
me,
making any sense, but
no, you're making, yeah, we're with you. For me, it's the ones that are not it doesn't appear as a cult. Like certain institutions can be seen as culty, whether it's like a college football team or like some like Alabama, for an example. Not saying this is a real thing for sure, but those
That's
programs
a good
that are
example.
so popular. Yeah, those programs which are so popular. Roll Tide, by the way. Those programs which are so popular, they they tend to build a culture around that program, which builds followership, and things happen that needs to happen to make things to continue to happen. And so those type of institutions and even religions,
Yeah, for sure. I think like
for me,
what makes like
go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, no, my bad. No, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No,
Get a guess.
I don't mind.
Yes,
Get a
Ryan,
guess.
please.
No, I insist.
Please, Ryan.
All I was going to say is when it comes to cults being scary, like for me, I guess it's just it reveals like those vulnerable parts of ourselves, like just how vulnerable they are, because I think it's so easy for people to like scale back and be very judgmental and say, oh, I would never end up in a cult or something like that. When in reality, the way that cults indoctrinate people, they pick people at very low points of their life, and they don't come off at first like there's anything wild going on. They're really warm. And sometimes when people are at their lowest points, they just want to connect to something. They want to feel like they're a part of community. They feel like they want to like better themselves. And that creates like a slow draw for someone to really come in and manipulate them. And if it doesn't happen to you, it could happen to someone close to you. And I think that's another scary thing that happens when people see their family members get called into cults and stuff, because they don't think they're in a cult, especially when it's hidden underneath something like religion, like you talked about, TaMon. Like, if they think it's like spiritually inclined, it's easy for them to like say like, oh, well, I'm doing something for the greater good. And it's even sadder if that person doesn't have anything to fall back onto, like family, community. And so they have no interest in leaving that, because the togetherness is what they crave. It's what we all crave.
Mm-hmm. And if you believe in something on one accord enough, it has power.
Yeah.
So that's really scary when it comes to those religious or organizations like that. Mark, what about you?
It's just the idea of somebody being so charismatic to the point where they can have people fall under their whim just like that. It's just when you have that much power over somebody, that is scary. And like Bobby mentioned, it's like when certain people pick up on the fact that, okay, I'm in a cult. It's time for me to exit stage left. And that's when your life becomes even more in danger, because they know that you know what's up. And it's not like there's no re-indoctrination of, this person, they're awoke. They're woke now. We got to take them out because they're going to mess us up. But any cult that is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Any cult that is so inviting to the point where somebody may leave and they'll be gone for like 2 years, maybe 3 years, and then it calls them back and they go right back to that cult. They go back to resuming, the what you call it, the attributes, that programming, right? Thank you, Ryan. It's like the programming, especially if they sit there, they don't talk to their families, all the communication to their families, all for it's sporadic. And what I mean sporadic, I'm talking about like they might get a letter that year. I'm fine, mom and dad, everything's fine. And it's just, I don't know, it's always scared me because I watch a lot of true crime doc. I watch true crime a lot here, but hearing about certain, like the Heaven's Gate, the Jim Jones is the one that scares me the most. The Jonestown massacre situation, that's the one that terrifies me the most. And it's just when you sit here and listen to these people and how they themselves are just, they're not mentally stable, and they're leading. It's like it's the quote of the blind leading the blind.
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. And it's just scary because some people are just, because it's religious or have religious tones to it, it's just like, oh, don't talk about my pastor. Honey, your pastor is out here doing some real duplicitous stuff. I mean, he has a harem of women, or women and men.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And that brings us to our next question, or sort of fun scenario we came up with. Crazy things that cult leaders say. And that was the word cult. So I think we need to drink.
Yes, sir. I should have got a straw. I keep spilling on myself. It's all good.
Oh, my.
Hey. Mark, do you have a quote for us?
A quote, well, Jim Jones, who was over the Jonestown situation, he claimed to be God, and there was no God beside him. And then when you sit there and make a proclamation like that, or a proclamation like that, to me, it just be like, oh, well, let me find the stage to get up off of here, because this is where I get off of this train. You know what I'm saying? Because usually when people compare themselves to God, to me, that's like a red flag or a sea of red flags. Like, nobody, if you're religious and you're into the church, God made man in his image, though, but man does not equate himself to God or say that they are God. So that's something that scares me.
Is there a part of you that have curiosity, if someone would say that? Would you stick around and sort of hear what he has to say? Would you immediately gather your things and leave?
I would get my things and leave, because I'm like, baby, unless you can sit here and float through the sky, heal me of my wounds and my pains and my illness, sis.
They like
if I
we
have
can.
them,
We
if you can't do
can.
none of
They
that,
like we can.
A lot of them
well,
believe
I'm gonna need
that's
to
what
feel
that their leader can do for you, though.
So you have
Exactly.
to stick
You don't
around.
know until you go to the compact.
Yeah.
I feel like you're being very judgmental.
I'm sorry.
Ryan?
It's just like, oh, I'm not
I'm
drinking that
here
Kool-Aid.
for
I'm just
just to learn of what's going on for information purposes. I'll stick around for that. So that's what I want to know what's going on here. But as far as like doing a blood pack or whatever you guys do, count me out of that.
No, they don't start with that. Usually, like a fine ass person will come up on the sidewalk. They start touching on you, Mark, like on your arms and stuff, and they're like, "How you doing today?" And they try to push up on you. They got brochures, they got brownies. You have to think about it. Like they don't start with the weird stuff. They just try to invite you to meetings. So I think sometimes people also get pressured because like they might think they're going to like a social gathering, and the next thing you know, it starts to slowly elevate, and then it becomes something completely different. And that's so scary to me because I have like a part of that social anxiety of like being at an event and feeling like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like I want to like leave this building, but I can't. Like I don't want to be rude. And then, it's just, that's so hard. I don't know what I would do.
Right. How do you think a person with a non-religious person, they don't even believe in God, but they get into this cult, and you have this person saying, like, there's no God besides me, but they're like, I don't believe in God. Like, how you feel like that will work? Because if they don't believe in God in general, and they say, oh, well, I'm your God, it's like, well, there's no God.
But that's what's crazy. Some of the cults aren't like religion based. Like some of them are more the greater good. Like they're like some of the ones, I wish I wrote some of the names down, but there was literally like this woman who she just had a bunch of people living in her RV with her. I think it was called Love Wins. I actually think that's what it was called. And it was just the feeling of community and everyone being in there with her. And it was so bad that when she got sick, no one took her to the hospital because she didn't want to. And then she died in there and no one would say how she died. But there wasn't a God element to it. It was literally just, they were so it's kind of like Mark was talking about, like that charisma. She was so magnetic that literally people just felt super pulled to her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That is a good question, because if you are someone that's like atheist or like you don't even believe in that stuff anyway, I wonder how that is different. Like, are people who are, you know what? People who are probably, because I read an article on this. people who are schizotypic, not schizophrenic, but schizotypic, like it's like a brain type, they tend to have more belief in certain things like this. And so they tend to be more prone to things like this. But then again, this was Bustle, and I don't trust Bustle. So we can move on.
So one of my picks, I'm just gonna say it now, just because Ryan, you're just like everything that you're saying is literally like one of my picks. So one of my picks is Tyler Perry's Ruthless.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that.
You want to talk about cults, baby? Everything that you're saying is literally that. And a lot of people don't give that show any attention because it's Tyler Perry and he's known for foolish content. But he does a lot of foolish things on there, but it makes sense for that show because when you're in a community like that, in a cult like that, they make you do those things. Like for instance, you were saying, Ryan, like you could just be chilling and they're just being friendly to you. They're offering you brownies and just say, hey, want to hang out? And all of a sudden there's like sliding in the idea of like, hey, I'm part of this awesome community. And then before you know it, you're a part of that group and you love that community, but then there's consequences because there's rules to follow. And if you break those rules, they're going to get you out of here.
Yeah.
And in that show, that's exactly what they do. Like like for instance, their leader is called the Highest. He's very Jim Jones-esque.
You told me about this show, but keep going. It's coming back, but go ahead.
Wait, no. Don't go too deep into the show. We gotta wait.
Yes, we'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I know we're the cult leader says, but literally
I'm here like, oh yes, that's right. That's what like,
no, it's exciting because like I remember Bobby had told me about that show before, and I still hadn't seen it, but like I do want to do my quote. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be trying to wait and stuff. I'll be like looking around and stuff. But y'all, okay, so all right. This one was actually from the video that you sent me, TaMon. So it was, and before you sent that, I literally had never heard of. So I might say his name wrong, Shoko Asahara from Shinriko. But this part really stood out to me. So he went on TV for an interview, and the person that was interviewing him was saying he wishes that he could actually have a normal life and not be on TV anymore. And the cult leader said, I think that you do not have to leave anything. In some way, you're one of those who greatly influence people. In other words, you have charisma, like Mark was talking about. Charisma is not just any old wisdom given by the gods. You have it. If you use it exactly, influencing positively in young people, your life will be beautiful. And I think this quote really like stood out to me because this is going to be really morose or like dark. I feel like I used the wrong word. Y'all get it? The point is, I feel like cults exist today, but I think that real cults exist, but I think there are also like micro cults that exist on the internet. And I think like when we think about the entertainment industry, so many youth are indoctrinated into really bad practices because there's this big machine pushing it to them. So to hear like a cult leader say he focuses on the youth and he uses charisma, that's interesting.
That sounds like the entertainment industry.
It does.
Yikes.
Yeah.
There's several of those. There's several examples of those that we can mention here, but I don't want to get nobody.
You could do it. I was priming you secretly, Mark, because I know how you feel about fandoms. So I was kind of setting you up.
See, I can sit there and list every.
Some of their fans will go you.
Oh.
And the problem is that this is
for y'all the Taylor Swift.
Exactly. You said it, Ryan. You said it, Ryan. But look, I'm trying to protect the Scream Kingz name and not have nobody sitting there trying to come for us because look,
y'all heard that they hate Swifties on Scream Kingz.
Oh, she's my friend. Okay, Taylor. We go way back.
But it's trending. Like so, for a second I wondered if y'all picked this topic because it was trending. Because like literally right now, Meat Canyon did a video on the cult of Taylor Swift, and it's getting him in a lot of trouble. I don't know if y'all saw that video. Did y'all see the video?
No.
So Taylor Swift is at a football game, and her boyfriend's whispering with his mates about possibly breaking up with her. And so the audience hears it, and obviously there's Swifties in the audience, so they start whispering. The whispers reach back to Taylor, and you see her face turn dark, and then she like backs into the shadows, and then the Swifties grab him and pull him into the box, and Taylor Swift sucks his soul out. And people are very upset with Meat Canyon right now.
Who did that?
Meat Canyon. I'll put the clip in here for later. I do not endorse the message. Swifties, please don't kill me. If so, my name is Bobby Torres.
I picked for my co-leader was Charles Manson and the Manson family. He's one of the OGs, right? Like Charles Manson. And so we know about him, the murders. They killed, I think it was 9 people. And he had a thing for women. So I think he was like seducing women to do things for him. He was just a gigolo. And things happen. So I have this audio clip of Charles Manson. He was being interviewed, and it shook me. So I had to bring the audio clip to see if anybody else felt the same way. So let's take a look at that.
Nobody. I'm nobody. I'm a tramp, a bum, a hobo. I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine. And a straight razor if you get too close to me.
Child. Look.
They asked him the question, "Who are you?" And that was his answer.
His
head was distracting.
He always
his hair
scares
was looking
me.
like how I looked in Doja Cat's video, and
I'm sorry. You looked. Did you say
no,
how you looked?
No, in Doja Cat's video, okay. Paint the Town Red, her wig is sitting back here, and that's what it reminded me of.
Oh, okay. Anytime I look at Charles Manson, he scares the pure shit out of me. So it's just like he just looked like evil personified. But him saying that quote, TaMon, it just like reminds you that anybody can actually become a cult leader, and because that's technically what he listed everything that he was. Because technically, if you look at the history of
he's everything.
Charles Manson, he was all that. He was nobody, but then he turned himself into somebody, just like the devil on the. He reminds me of old hard tale of the devil at the crossroads. If that makes any sense, it's like he offers you, just freedom, but it's like it comes at a cost. You know what I'm saying? They don't really. It's just he's always terrified me. And anything I read about Charles Manson, I always learn something new that amplified that fear of him, because I'm like, I got time for it.
Not he wanted to speed up the race war. So let me get it started since nobody else want to fight.
Right.
Who does that?
Because that's the whole reason when he's out the what you call it, when he put out when he sent his minions out to do the murders, he said make sure they put something to be like, to make it think it was some black people that did this, so we can hurry up the race war. It's like, child.
I like your read into it, Mark, because I didn't think about it that way. The way I read it is that like he is struggling with his own identity almost, because I feel like sometimes when it comes to people who are like taking so much from other people, it's because they have like a deep darkness in them that can't ever really be filled up. And you even think about it, like when you think about people who also get sucked into cults, it's similar. Like they're struggling with their identity, or like feeling like they belong to something through their identity. And that's the one thing that could bring them together. Yeah. Because if you're emptied completely out, right, it almost makes you like a chameleon. Like you come into these social circles and stuff, and you start to actually mirror what the person you're trying to pull in is actually saying and doing, so that you seem like you're a part of them, and then therefore you can start to control them.
Correct.
And that's actually like, I mean, we see it in horror movies, right? But it's like that's actually happening. And then like you even see all the people who like, when I started doing research for this episode and stuff, there are so many celebrities who used to, like, they were raised in cults, and I had no clue about that. Like one of the ones y'all said earlier, I'm scrolling up on my list. Remember we were talking about the Children of God, David Berg, earlier, the one that did Flirty Fishing, and he in the video you sent me, TaMon, it was the first clip.
Yeah.
So apparently Rose McGowan was part of that cult.
What?
Yeah, and I didn't know, like when she was younger, and they're still active today. They just changed their name to the Family International, but they're still around.
Yeah, I did hear she was raised.
It makes me, has everyone seen the last season of Sabrina?
Yeah, I have.
No, I didn't. Go ahead, though. You can spoil it. I don't care.
Wait, which Sabrina are you talking about? The original one? Or are you talking about the Chilling Adventures?
The Chilling Adventures, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
So, you know, that last season, Blackwood created a cult, and there was people that he pinpointed in the community who were broken, who were in need, who was in despair, and Mrs. Wardwell was one of those people because she missed this big chunk of her life, and she doesn't know what to believe in. Imagine being a devout Christian and finding out that whatever your work was worshiping is not working. But there's other things out here that could work. Imagine that type of conflict. So watching that in her character was really interesting to me. Her struggle with between the two. And then she did.
I don't remember this part for some reason, but like, I don't know. Like I did watch the final season, but for some reason I can't remember that.
Yeah, he started this cult. I can't remember the name of the cult, but he started a cult at the end of it because, you know, the season before they killed the pagans.
I remember that part, but yeah, I don't remember.
Released that egg that started this whole apocalypse thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened in the last season. But there was a cult in there, and that's how they preyed upon people. You mentioned something earlier, and then Bobby said delusion. For sure.
Yeah.
You're open to it. You're receptive to all those things.
Interesting. Yeah.
And
damn.
And Ryan, what you said about how the chameleon and how they, you know, mirror themselves. I actually watched a video recently where somebody described their particular action as what's the word I'm looking for? It's the characteristics of a sociopath. You know, like or somebody like in a relationship or something like that. They talked about it in a relationship type where because you probably you broke up with your previous partner, and in the way you're trying to get over it, you take on the attributes that their partner had to try to like either win them back, or then when that doesn't work, then you're kind of empty. And then you meet the next person and you take on all of their attributes to win them over.
Wait a minute. That makes me think of something. Do y'all remember the movie Incantation 2022?
I haven't seen it yet, but go ahead.
On Netflix?
Yeah. So do you remember that cult? The entity they worship, it had its face missing. Do you remember this? Like its face was actually gone, like it was empty. And if you look into it, I won't spoil it obviously because you know I want people to actually check it out. But yeah, that's interesting that you would say that, especially in this line of thinking, because there's a cult centering that as well, and how there's like an emptiness that you can't look into without being pulled into it, you know?
Yeah,
it's weird. But bottom line, I think that's the reason why a lot of this stuff goes down.
Yeah,
is that they're like these walking voids, like the cult leaders. I'm sorry, you know, they're cults. So,
oh, absolutely. My drink's almost gone.
The cult leaders are. I'm this same point. They're empty voids walking around and it's feeding themselves energy throughout from all their followers and stuff, which is crazy.
It is crazy, especially when you think about in Norse mythology, right? The oldest evil was like Fenrir, like the hungry wolf that's never fed. And I think about that sometimes as like the cardinal sin, or like how there's something that can never be satisfied, so it just takes from around it. That's literally what it sounds like the cardinal sin. But I don't know, I went a little too deep. Michelle Pfeiffer was in a cult too.
Was she?
Not Susan Sarandon. I know I keep mixing her up.
No, not Selena.
Yeah, she was in Breatharianism.
No, you're getting her confused with Sigourney Weaver.
Stop! Stop telling people that I be mixing the people up because it's true.
Well, Ryan, I think you deserve to go to this new place this season we like to call the Hell Seat. And in this place, you're going to be
Oh my God.
some questions will be asked of you. I
Okay.
hope you can survive. And if you get them right, you get to come back to us. If not, we'll see you later.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do it, Mark.
Okay, this is the Hell Seat. And on the Hell Seat, we'll be asking questions to our lovely guest, Ryan. And since this episode is about cults, all these questions will be based on cults and whatnot. So, Ryan, question number 1. What cult situation could you find yourself in? Like, which cult, or rather, let me take that one back. What would be the got you to get you locked up in a cult? Like, what scenario would get you locked up in a cult?
I would probably say a high level of charisma and timing. You know, it would, because I watch so many damn horror movies, it would be a little hard to trick me. But if you are patient enough, especially since people roll things out so slowly as it is, I could accidentally end up in something, because I actually do care about like hurting people's feelings and stuff like that. That bothers me. So if this person is actually a void and they're making it seem like it would be hurtful to them for me to like leave this and stuff, that would be so, you know, and my support system would have to be gone, obviously. But yeah, definitely that. Either that or a calendar of Idris Elba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It has to be nude. Okay, I'm the best picture.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm going to be selling, if I'm about to be doing all the crazy shit these cults be doing, yes.
You better have the news locked up. But speaking of your support, group, that's my next question. If you did land in a cult, could you see yourself like detaching yourself from your loved ones? And if you did if you couldn't detach yourself from them, how often would you keep in contact with them?
I feel like with cults, like it's like it's either or. They're really adamant about you severing your past life. So I think if I'm in a cult, that means my support system has completely gone, probably. Like, so if I'm in a cult, and like if I'm being indoctrinated and I still have a support system, that's my hope out. Like, that's the thing that's going to, I believe, pull me out of it.
Okay. Speaking of cults, I hope this is not on anybody else's question list, but can you pull a cult horror movie? Not ones that only so small group of people go up for, but what type of cult horror movie do you like to that would you say is like your top 3? Like what?
You know what's funny? Like Death Note from 2003 2006, even though it's a TV show like anime, but the whole thing isn't about cults, but there's a pivotal part of the story where after Kira is killing people with the Death Note, there is a small cult that rises up and starts worshiping him. And I think that is a realistic cult idea, because usually, and I'm not trying to be funny, like when it comes to religion and cults and other similar practices, it's all belief based, faith based. But in this weird dystopian world, that faith is made manifest. Kira is actually killing criminals. So are these really cults, or are these people who are just so downtrodden in their life, and because their followers were literally sending people into Kira to kill because they had been done wrong. So that's definitely one of them. Rocky Horror Picture Show, because it's hella queer and we don't think about it as a cult, but it kind of is. It doubles, because Brad and Janet are so sexually deprived, but that can, represent basically anything, that this other life becomes very alluring to them. They're basically, the entire course of this film, being pulled into a cult. You get a musical out of it. And then the last one is Suspiria, because I've talked about Suspiria a million times, but it kind of shows how like covens and I'm sorry if I'm going too deep with this stuff, y'all. I really covens and cults kind of can have like similar principles. So I believe when you dance in the vision of another, you start to take on their attributes. I thought that was like a really brilliant idea when it came to Suspiria, but yeah.
Okay. And I'm just going to let you know, like, when you go deep, let it go. Don't hold back. Please don't. So that was question 3. Question 4. If you could run a cult, what type of cult would it be?
Um, I I know this sounds like real Miss Pageant, but I don't think I could run a cult. It's just they're so it's to me, part of like the fun of like being around people is seeing people's like real identity. Like that's the
Right.
fun. Like you not knowing what to expect. And cults to me, it's like you get a unified thought going. We all think the same way. In fact, I'm more afraid of that, especially as a marginalized person, because I think when you think about like the Holocaust, for example, there's so many people who are hardcore Nazis in that, but then there's other people who are just going along with the program because they don't want things to happen to them. So groupthink is really a powerful danger to society. And I think it's why I'm so alt when it comes to things in my thinking. It's why I tend to like run alone so many times because I'm just so nervous about groupthink. I'm really nervous about like that stuff. It just worries me like a lot, especially because it doesn't have to be based on truth. It's based on perception, and perception can be manipulated easily. I mean, look at how propaganda works. Look at what's going on like with Gaza and everything. Like there's just so much stuff that's just based on perception. There are people who can buy into something without even fully understanding it, and that's my greatest fear. So
Hey, I'm right up there with you. That was a damn good answer. I'm right up there with you. Because that's like a pet peeve of mine when somebody comes at me with something. Well, so and so did this, and I'm asking them like, "Are you doing it in a manner? Are you asking me? Or are you standing with this because you truly want to stand by this, and you have like skin in the game, or are you just trying to not, you know, be counseled or think that you're just being, blasé?" But it has been,
yeah.
people have really been like that as of late, and it's been very nerve wracking with me. But the question I have is I'm trying to word it correctly. What type of cult or situation or community that people perceive as a cult that you yourself don't perceive as a cult?
Damn, that's a really good question. I love that. A cult that I personally wouldn't see as a cult. You know what's funny? I always use religion as an example as a cult, and I've even done this like in previous recordings and stuff. But you know what? This is what I'm going to say, right? I want to be careful always making that parallel because in
Mhm.
reality, religion is like one of the more dangerous things that have ever happened in civilization through one perspective. But it's also I don't think it's so much the religion per se, it's the people who are wielding it, just like anything. So I would actually start to separate religion and cult, even though I've kind of made statements in the past that might seem contrary. I like to have a lot of fun, so I speak colorfully. But in
Mhm.
reality, religion is one of those things where it could be like that because of religious trauma and stuff like that. But in
Mhm.
reality, religion also has the potential to make people better because the stories and like what they're trying to achieve 9 times out of 10 is a story about teaching people how to be kinder to each other. And usually
Right.
when there are people who are powerful, they use that as a weapon and then it becomes something different. So I think that would be my answer. Like people who see religion as just a cult, especially because I think about, not to get too personal or anything, my mom, who is a very religious person, but she's somebody who's been very accepting of the fact that I'm gay, and she's like had a lot of space in her heart for love despite, what she believes her book might teach her. And so it does
Right.
show that when you understand not so much the text but what the abstractions are supposed to represent, that you can actually, just love one another more evenly, and it doesn't have like that cult feel or, cult persona.
Right. I'm gonna piggyback off of that answer because I totally agree. Even though I'm not a religious person, my parents
Yeah.
are, just like yours are. And when I came out, they accepted me for who I was. I mean, they still have some kinks to work out and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I know that it's from love, and they know that when they say certain things, it's not a means to just be like attacking me personally. But I also got to tell them that when say certain things, you can't just say that to anybody because they will,
Yeah.
bite back. And even though I kind of look at some of the stuff they do at their church, I'm like, well, you don't have to do that, but you're doing it out of love, and it's not out of like, I'm going to die if I don't do this. So,
Exactly. There's a line.
There's a line, at least I know that their pastor and their community is coming from a sense of love, and they're flawed. There's nobody saying that I am God and I am just, I'm like their pastor's not somebody going to be like Tim Jones saying I am God and I am, their pastor doesn't go there. He doesn't go there. So on that tip, I'm like, okay, I get that. But Ryan, thank you for surviving the hell seat. I appreciate you. And that concludes our hell seat portion. But you got 2 more coming up, and I'm pretty sure TaMon and Bob is gonna be very hard on you. So this is in the Mean Girls thing. I am just mean. They're gonna be meaner and meanest. So
Oh God.
I'm just saying. Just get ready for it.
Okay, I'm girding my loins.
I'm just playing, but okay. And right now we're gonna go head straight into commercial, and when we come back, we have some quizzes ready for you guys. So see you in a sec.
Congratulations, Ryan. You survived the hell seat. You survived the hell seat. And welcome back, Screamers. Now we're going to go into a really fun portion where we figure out what type of cult would us, the Scream Kingz, and our wonderful guest, Ryan, what would we be a part of? But Ryan, we're going to put you on the spot. We're going to do yours. We're going to do yours live. So let's do your quiz. We're not going to tell you what our results were. We're going to do yours.
Okay.
Ooh.
Finish this sentence. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, of course. Not last Mountain Dew, though. A Mountain Dew.
Expired milk.
Thank you, Buzz. Expired milk.
Is the tap water in Tuscan really bad? Tucson.
Yeah.
I say Tucson too. So
Not Michigan.
Is that Tucson or Tuscan? I don't know, child. But I'm choosing Kool-Aid, 100%.
All righty. Let's see.
Okay, let me see. How attached am I to my family? Like them, love them. I could take it or leave it, to be honest. I'd pay to never see them again. I mean, I love them. Damn, these other answers are cold.
Very cold.
What are your thoughts on guys with crazy facial hair? The crazier the better. It's all I think about. I draw the line at goatees. What does that last one say? Sexy Charlie. Oh, sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie.
Sexy Charlie.
I don't know where my mind went. I'll do the crazier the better. I'm pretty sure that has hella cult points, but it's my truth.
For sure.
Is it weird if you and all your friends wear the same shoes? Bobby, remember that happened? We were wearing the same outfit, same shoes. Oh my God, don't confirm because it would be awkward, right?
We were at Comic-Con, we were matching.
Yeah, it's matchy. I would say, wait, are they Heelys? What? It's only weird if you make it weird. I see no problem. Absolutely. Aren't Heelys like the little shoes with the heels in them, like those Skechers joints where you can skate with them?
Oh yeah, and they turn into like the little wheel.
That's the correct answer. Are they Heelys? Because that sounds like a good time.
But what adults are wearing? Okay.
I will wear them.
All right.
Y'all know y'all would. I don't even know. A fun night in Tucson.
10, yes.
Are you a cop? No. Who's asking? You have to tell us if you're a cop. No, but for real, you have to tell us if you're a cop. Wow. Who's asking? What's the first rule of Cult Club? You tell everybody about Cult Club. Have fun and try your best. Seriously, hands off the Mountain Dews in the communal fridge. Never question the wise leader that.
I have a question. Did I miss something with the Mountain Dew and Colts? Like, why is this a thing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out
that's a
too,
good
Bobby.
question.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Maybe you can
research
mix
that
it
later.
into an either. I don't
I'm
know.
researching it, Neil. Mountain Dew and Colts. Let me see. Oh, but my answer is never question the wise leader. You know, there is a Mountain Dew cult, y'all.
That's wild.
Anyway, are you more
Am I
into
part of
weird?
it?
Do you like Mountain Dew that much?
I might, but go ahead.
I like
This is
Baja
about you,
Blast and
baby.
Code Red. If so, they might get me.
Come on, Code Red.
Are you more into weird religious cults or freaky sex cults? Go with God, freak in the sheets. That's like me. That's like asking me to. What's that say at the bottom? It's a little cut off. Pick a favorite child.
Good favorite
Why
child.
not both?
You got this.
That's like asking me to pick a favorite child. I'll do that one. Give us all your money. Yes, yes, yes. Also, yes. I mean, this feels loaded. Also, yes, because it
Also,
seems a bit
yes.
different.
Yes.
And I'm a free thinker. Do you believe in aliens? Whatever one that is with Roger on it, I want that one. But it says sure. Don't be ridiculous.
Look at ET. She's serving kind.
Oh my God! That is, did y'all see that year when they said that was Sarah Jessica Parker? They were putting them side by side. I was like, y'all are disrespectful. Don't ever play with mother like that. But it's, don't be ridiculous, of course. No, but I'll pay money until I do, and I am alien. So sure, I'll do sure. How susceptible are you to the influence of others? Not very, extremely. Okay, maybe a little. I'll answer however you want. I'll answer however you want.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Do we all get the same?
I think we all did.
Yeah, I think we all got the same.
We're all in Steve Aoki's cult. Did Steve Aoki actually make this? I love him.
Yes,
I love
he did. He did. He did.
Oh my God.
I never heard of him, but when I watched this video to Cult, and it slaps. I like it.
Oh, Steve Aoki.
What does it say?
Oh, congratulations. You've been pre-approved to join Steve Aoki and Grandson's cult. We think you're going to love your new friends. You'll fit right in and never want to leave. Also, Steve locked the door and Grandson threw away the key, so you can't leave even if you want. Who's Grandson?
Okay.
I feel like I should know that since I like him, but I don't know.
Anything Steve Aoki wants me to do, I'll do it.
Amen.
That was very cult.
So we all got Steve.
We're together. We're all together.
All together. Bet.
So we're all fucked.
It doesn't have to be that way.
So I guess there's no surprise. We have to go over our own results. So, Bobby, what did you get?
Same.
And
yeah, same.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? Yes. And I think I got the same. Yep. So thank you, BuzzFeed, for this very introspective quiz that you gave us to determine if we will be in a cult and what kind of cult we will be in. But seriously, what would it take for you to join a cult? Like, let that sit. What it has to be something really special. And I'm going to kick it off by saying, if you show me that I can actually summon fireballs and do telekinesis and I have these abilities, I'm out of here. You guys don't worry about it. I'm going to go to whatever school they have for me, and I will see y'all the next time. That's the only cult I could think of. So if you out there, you can just show me those things. And
yeah, I'm with you, friend. If I was granted some type of power, or just that's the only way. But other than that, there's no way. All the things I mentioned earlier in this episode, I'm sorry. Unless I'm at a very sad point in my life where I have no family or something, and I'm just lost and susceptible to those things, then sure. But and if I'm looking for a sense of community, because most people that are in that position, they want to do that because they feel like that's family, that will be their next family. But I don't see myself ever getting there. So yeah. But I always just say those two. Either grant me powers, or if I really lost everything and I'm in the dump and I don't see myself ever getting there. But yeah, that's the only way I would be in the cult.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't see that happening to anybody on this panel. I feel like everybody here is. What I'm trying to say is that I feel like none of us would like lose our
Sanity
support
and
unit. You know what I'm saying?
Support unit, yes.
Yeah, I can never see you, Bobby, being like, "Oh my God, I'm my last wit." I can't never see that. You like, bitch, next, and TaMon's not gonna let that stop him. And Ryan is going to probably be the one who will probably be like,
You know what? I'm concerned
got-
about Ryan because all this shit earlier, and there's a memory I have of you when we were talking about the craft, and you said you would be Nancy out all the witches because you would
I remember
be
that.
power hungry. So I feel like Ryan.
I do remember that.
That feels on brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, that's different, okay? Because getting power from Minnow is different from you telling me that you have a power that you do not have. Now, if you show me some power, I turn it to somebody different. But these cult leaders ain't doing that. You know they're not about to show you nothing. They go to make brownies and stuff.
So what if the cult leader is like, I am Manon himself, and I will.
If he's showing me that power, guess who I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be Nancy.
Listen,
where's the book? That's my first question.
That's what I'm saying. Show me the
where's the book. That was gonna be my answer, y'all. Was I'm piggybacking off of TaMon's answer and Ryan's explanation. Yeah, I need to see powers. If somebody can be like, "Yo, I can rock your world and change. I can unlock the veil between the living and the supernatural." If they can give me that key to unlock, to like raise that veil, I'm all there.
Yeah,
I'm all there. Like, show me the world. You know, that's why I just need you to show me the world, because you sit there and you sweet talking and shit like that. I'm like, okay, my fuckery shield is up, and I can sense that you don't have anything to show me. Therefore, you're not going to get me. But if they sit there and we're standing in a hallway and he's talking to me, then the next thing you know, I blink and we're at some damn castle.
So I'm
Baby,
here.
I'm yours.
Yeah, I mean,
yours.
I mean, that's it. This is what I've been looking for forever. Thank you. And
would
where's
y'all
the
consider
book?
like vampire cults, vampire groups cults, technically, like they're covens? They're kind of
cultish. I would say they have I guess due to how I imagine cults, like my first thought, I go to like leather and stuff like that, even though that's not always the case, right?
Yeah.
But that fits with vampires easily.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you join a cult of Drusilla?
Hell yeah. I love Drusilla.
I did too.
I do too.
A bunch of psychics just hanging out.
Listen,
I could do that. I mean, the True Gas from Hellraiser is a cult.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. True that.
So, and I definitely joined them. So,
do you think would you join the True Knot from Dr. Sleep?
Yes.
You would join them and suck the lives out of children?
Kids get on my damn nerves, Bobby.
See, look.
That is such a good example. High five, Bobby. That's a good moral question. Because I'm thinking,
they don't need all that energy. I'm not going to kill them. I'm just going to bring them down. Say, stop playing in front of my house.
No,
get off of my porch.
but
like when a flip from Hocus Pocus and shit.
Right.
But did the True not only go after?
Like, I would want mine just in a canister.
In a canister.
I'm going after kids. I'm not speaking for the rest of them. I'll be the kid getter. I'm gonna hang out at Chuck E. Cheese.
But
Wow.
see, no, you trying to be like Five Nights at Freddy's, but
Period.
so did the True not only go after kids with The Shining though, or like Shimmers of The Shining?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
hold up. First of all, y'all keep saying this. That's them. Okay, you like, oh, they didn't only just target children. That was them. That's me. Okay, you talking about? So did they just target people with The Shining? That's them, not me. Any child that runs past the front of this damn house is getting knocked down the peg. Stay from down here. Stay from down here. That's all I'm saying.
See?
They'll sit there. The child will be grayed up and stuff. They run past the house next to you. They just get grayed up and like boom.
They get the one little streak with Nancy. It'll be cute.
Not you doing like It the Clown. Hey.
Right, hanging out the
suit. They all float.
Oh
no,
my
but
God.
children are blessings. I would never.
Okay.
Bobby,
Fine,
you
I
see
see you on Halloween, huh?
Did you answer what we get you in the code?
Yeah.
I'm shocked that y'all didn't bring up the Cult of Thorn on this. I was fully expecting Bobby to go into the Cult of Thorn tonight.
Ooh.
No, because there's no such thing.
So, to be fair, Ryan, I didn't want to mention it because I thought Bobby was going to have it in his reserve.
You know what's funny? I was speaking to Mike, and he was saying that, and I didn't bring Halloween into this at all because everybody just assumed that's what I was going to do. But if you guys know me, I really don't give a fuck about the Cult of Thorns, so I'm not choosing it.
It's not about that. It's Halloween IP. I fully expected you to at least mention it. Damn.
But like, we don't know anything about that fucking cult besides Michael Myers being possessed, and
we know the kill. They believe in ritual magic and blood magic because they manipulated the blood.
Don't most cults do? They don't.
They believe in incest.
Regular Tuesday afternoon.
They believe in incest. They believe in incest,
do.
And I don't support that. So
I don't support it at all.
Wait, they had incest in the Cult of Thorn?
Yeah,
Ryan,
the baby.
We had this discussion.
Child, I forgot. See, if Bobby had brought it up.
No,
in the Cult of Thorn and Halloween 5, it really fleshed out when Jamie Lloyd was murdered in the beginning of this film to fulfill a prophecy to have this child born.
See, I barely remember this. Bobby, can you
No, Ryan, I'm about to come through this computer screen and choke the shit out of you.
Why?
This is because you're channeling Mike right now. I bet you Mike is sitting there texting, get on Bobby's nerves.
And the thing is, I have more patience with Ryan than Mike. So there's a difference here. I have more patience.
There are so many cults I expected y'all to bring up. I fully thought y'all were going to bring up A24's cults because Midsommar and Hereditary, them cults are... I really like how they did those cults, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up later when we got into like TV and movies and stuff.
Oh, let me shut the hell up.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
It's okay.
So Bobby was going to bring up the Cult of Thorn.
Gotcha.
No. Okay, and that note, you need to go back to the hell seat. So,
okay. I run my mouth too much. Love you guys.
Perfect. Welcome to the hell seat. Keep it cute tonight because again, this Cult of Thorn shit. First it was Mike with Alice, now you with this Cult of Thorn stuff. Y'all trying me. But anyway, we're gonna play a little game of Fuck, Marry, or Kill for my first question for you. So, fuck, marry, or kill. Charles Manson, Jim Jones, or Soku with Asahara, how you say his name. Which one?
I'm killing Shoko. I'm fucking Charles Manson. Amen. And I'm also I'm marrying him, and then I'm fucking Jim Jones.
Okay. I would do the opposite. I mean, I would kill Soko, but the other two would switch.
I don't know what it is. It's just I shouldn't talk. You know, this might end up in a clip somewhere later. Me saying I want to smash Charles Manson. So, but
actually, I would kill Charles Manson.
I can't kill him. The thing is, y'all fail to realize he didn't always look like that. If you look at them old pictures, he was kind of charming.
But all crazy people were serial killers, these cult leaders. They're all attractive, and that's how they get you.
And it would have got me. I can't even lie. I can sit up here and try to lie, but you know me, so
Ryan, everything is adding up. By the end of this episode, I won't be surprised that you are part of a cult. You'll announce to us. Um, so Mark did take one of my questions, so I'm just going to like try to change this one up a little bit. Love you, Marky Mark. What would be the name of your cult if you had one?
it would be Elephant Fire.
Elephant Fire. And why Elephant Fire?
Because what would attract a bigger audience than a big ass elephant on fire?
Interesting. I
And
feel
also,
like
you think about like the sacred stuff to it, but
okay,
you know,
I will be calling PETA. You're setting
please
elephants on
don't.
fire. Come on, man.
You're like, elephants ain't do nothing to nobody.
Right. And in some places and countries and stuff, they're I guess they're like lucky, like a symbol of luck or some shit like that, I believe.
The fire
So
burns, but it doesn't burn the elephant. Oh yeah, we're getting it. Help me with this
okay. No,
this doctrine real quick.
I'm not supporting this.
No. Just wow. This is how you treat me.
So we're gonna move away from cults, because again, Mark answered some damn good asked you some damn good questions, so kudos to him. So I'm gonna go back into my old bag here. So what is one thing you would change in your favorite horror film?
Okay. I have a real answer, but I need to watch my mouth. So I'm gonna say this. I'm trying to think of a better answer. This is
Go
hard.
for it. Spit it out.
It's Scream, but I'm trying to be careful here.
Do it. This is don't listen to TaMon because I know he's already.
I know that's
so. This is
I
a
would have
safe
killed Gil.
space.
I like that we got the chase scene
No.
on Scream 2.
Wow.
There's a reason.
Right. Okay, let's go. What is the
And
reason?
I'm happy she's here, so it doesn't matter. We got the
Okay.
amazing chase scene in Scream 2.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, it just didn't. She needed to go. It would have
Okay.
made more sense.
Wow. You know what? I agree. See, let me stop. No, honestly, I like Gail a lot, but
I do.
I would I would have been fine if she was gone in Scream 6. You know, the way that she had a chase scene, she had a nice fight. If they took her out then, I would have been okay with that. So
Yeah.
okay, damn, you choosing fighting words, Ryan. Damn. My next question to you is what story of Morton County you would like to see become a feature film?
Jars or thighs. Jars or thighs. Either or is fine.
Okay, so thighs would be camp as shit though. I would give it that. It would be so camp.
The
The
funny thing
jars,
about-
I'm leaning more towards.
I got like so on one of the reviews, like somebody gave me like 3.5 stars on Goodreads, right? And they literally said what saved the review was thighs. They really loved the story.
Okay.
And it was really interesting because literally whenever people like DM me and stuff, they like thighs. And I didn't think
Mhm.
people would really like that story that much because it is so campy and it's
Yeah.
tonally different from the other 11 stories.
Yeah.
But I think people just had a good time with it. So
Yeah,
I would
they had
I would
fun.
definitely do that.
Yeah, I had fun with it as well.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, well, let's call upon your cult, Ryan, the burning elephant, and let's see if we can make that happen.
Elephant Fire. And I'll
Elephant
send you a
Fire.
brochure.
Okay.
You're the co-leader, so you need to.
All right, now we're making up lies. So my last question is, what is your unpopular opinion on a horror film? What is something that outside of you not liking Midsommar, because everybody knows that. So outside of that, what is your unpopular opinion?
Let me see. Actually, I think I have a few, but I'm trying to think of one that's like more recent. Okay. I haven't said this anywhere, and I'm gonna eat my words. I wasn't really that impressed by Talk to Me. The thing is, like, that's all I'm willing to say.
No, continue.
There's
You cannot leave the hell seat until you answer this question.
There's layers to the film, and so I love the layers, and I even talked about it on my TikTok and stuff. But I just kind of, I don't know. Like when it was over, I was just like, okay, that was a fine movie. Like it was a good movie, but to me, it didn't make me feel what I was looking for out of a movie right now, and it made me suspicious that maybe I'm starting to get maybe a little jaded when it came to horror movies because I can't point out what's wrong with it, but it just made me feel kind of, I don't know. I was okay, to be honest.
So I'm on your side with this one. I love Talk to Me. I love Talk to Me, but I'm with you. It's a good movie. It's a damn good movie, actually, and I will put it on my list for like my top 5 horror movies. But I will say that there is something missing, and I don't know what it is. Like I didn't leave out the theater saying, "Yo, that was like the most incredible thing I've seen." Like how people was feeling. I wish I felt that way. I just left saying, "Oh, that was a cool movie." You know, I enjoyed it. I jumped a lot. It was suspenseful. A lot of things was happening. It was original, which I love, but it was just something missing for me. So I'm with you, my friend, on that one. But I'll still put it up top on my list because there's a lot of movies that I didn't really care for this year.
Oh, I can't wait to see y'all list on that, to be honest.
Well, that should be coming soon. But you survived. See, I wasn't that bad, right?
I mean, those were spicy questions, so I give you your props. But no, I still have some of my dignity. So yes, it went well.
Well, now, you have it now, but I think I set you up so when you get back into the panel, somebody want to fight you, and that was.
I already know.
That was all a plan. Thank you, Ryan, for doing Hell Seat. You survived this round, and I guess we're done here. Let's get on.
Oh God, I'm about to get fried.
Psycho Killer. I have the card game somewhere, but find them on Instagram on the Psycho Killer card game. It's super fun. Just play with a bunch of friends. It'll be fun. 4 people makes it fun.
I want to play.
You ready? If you know what? Maybe if I can get you all copies of it, and we can play online.
But
yeah,
I'll put them on the list.
TaMon, how bad are you about to fry me?
You know what? I understand what cult you're a part of, just based off of your response tonight, and it must be the cult of people. It must be the cult of people who say the rudest things, a cult of people who say insane things, cult who wants to take something that was so beautifully done and destroy it. But that's what the cult represents. I don't have a name for it. Probably bad decisions.
Ooh!
That's the name of the cult. No, I'm kidding. It was fine. Listen, Gail survived. If she would have died, that movie would probably be the last movie I'll ever see. But she put up a good fight. If she died in that movie, you know,
you wouldn't have watched 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
If Gail dies in this franchise, that will be my last one I'll see.
Oh wow!
You know they're playing with her now, though. It could happen.
Leave her alone.
I'm just saying they took Dewey.
I'm ready.
They took her, man. Like
They new type of cult.
I told you, Mark. Be careful. People who want the legacy's dead cult. That's what it's called.
You know what? I was okay with. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do Scream because we won't stop.
You know, legacies eventually die. They eventually gotta go. They eventually all die and go to heaven. And maybe it's Gail's time to fly away.
Why not? She ain't going to heaven.
Wait a minute. That's not fair. She lived a life of honor.
She's a woman of dignity.
She's a woman of valor. And she paved the way for many of jobs. Hello.
This woman literally cashed in on the deaths of people and wrote their books. Okay.
And she got people hired. She got movies made.
That's true.
She made, she did her part. It's all about giving back. It's about the circle. So
okay, that's true. She did create some jobs. But look at how she treated Kenny in the first one.
He's an employee that had an unfortunate experience on his first day of work. And
Kenny,
we understand
your fat
that.
ass.
And we understand that. But he's been paid. He'll be fine.
Wait, that's Scary Movie. Hold on, not Kenny. What's his name?
Joel.
There we go. I'll always do that. I'll always mix those two up, like Susan.
Wait, who's the first one? The first
Kenny
one.
was Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny.
Oh, okay. Because I sometimes mix his name up with. Wait,
Joel.
Are you sure it was Kenny?
Joel,
because I'm mixing Scream and Scary
was
Movie
part
up.
two.
Yeah, Kenny was the cameraman who died, who was on my windshield, and then in Scream.
How you the labor laws? I'm so shocked she was able to get away with it.
We had insurance, sweetie. It didn't matter. Okay, we wrote all that off. A book, a movie. I gave back. I created jobs. Cinema.
And your legacy will live on once you go. You will be
true.
remembered. You will be remembered. So
yeah.
It's time.
Oh my God.
Okay, I actually remember I said if they opened with Gail being killed, I would be okay with that.
Okay.
That was my immediate thought after watching Scream 6. Like, go for it in the hospital. Like, keep the same day going. There's more people involved.
That would have been interesting because it would have felt like a nod to Halloween 2 a little bit.
That's what exactly why. Exactly why.
Bobby, we have to take TaMon out the theater. I'd say we got to bring TaMon out the theater next year, so just be prepared for that if it does go down.
Oh, baby.
Prayer cloth on him.
Oh, baby. If Gail dies, Scream is dead in my eyes. And I can form a cult around that for sure.
You're going to burn that theater down.
Oh, baby, listen. Gasoline in my purse when I'm on my way. A curse. Is that what you said, Mark? Oh, absolutely. I'm going to pull out these stones and draw some blood from my palm. Don't worry about the rest of this franchise. It's over.
They've made a powerful enemy if they do that.
They have made a very powerful enemy.
This man would turn into the Scarlet Witch and be like, he'd turn to the Scarlet Witch.
That's a high level of chaos.
Then he'd be like, be sitting there teared up. Your this action has assaulted me. And what happens next? Being reasonable.
It's still me being reasonable. It's still me being reasonable. You remember in X-Men, the Last Stand, when Jean and Professor X was in the house and she was down in the chair and the Phoenix just was coming out more and more of her? Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
The cars was levitating outside.
I love that scene so much. Even though that movie's not that great, when it first came out and I bought it on DVD, I used to watch that scene so much.
It was good.
I haven't seen those movies in so many years. Like, I want to go back and see them because I used to have them on VHS.
I watch them on Disney Plus because the Phoenix Saga is my favorite story. So even though it's not even anywhere near accurate of what we should deserve as consumers, however, it's there. So I watch it. I watch it often. Yeah.
It ran so a lot of these other movies can it walked so these other movies can fly. Ran so they can
crawl.
Crawl. Yeah, thank you.
Either order is fine. But that's a perfect way for us to talk about our next segment, which is TV horror movies, cults. Cults and horror movies and TV shows. Who's up first? Let's see. Bobby.
Oh, me. So guys, I talked about Ruthless earlier on the show. This is a BET original. It's a show made by Tyler Perry. You guys are probably like, what the fuck? Because this is not horror, but this show contains a lot of horror elements. A lot of interesting characters, and I suggest that everybody should at least watch a few episodes of this. Again, it's a Tyler Perry joint, so therefore it's a lot of shit happening that doesn't make a lot of sense. And
it's very homoerotic.
Yeah,
it's
very Very homoerotic. I will say Tyler Perry know how to cast men. Um,
Mm.
there is gay men on this show that are chef's kiss. Um, but the things that they do to get people in this cult, like what Ryan was saying earlier, like they're friendly at first, they're really cool. There was like, we have a leader that's amazing, he supports you all the way, and they prey on people that have issues in their life or their life is going downhill, and they use that and bring them in this cult. But once you're in, and once you meet the highest, who consider himself as God, that's it. um Initially the show is really about this woman named Ruth who goes to this cult. They end up taking her daughter and stuff like that, so she's there to save her daughter, but she's playing along with the whole cult situation, so she's acting like she's a part, but she's trying to steal their money, get her daughter and leave this cult. But it's very hard for her to do that because they got guards outside the gate. They got people in charge of like their groups that would take them out if they try to escape. So it's very difficult, but it's not just centered around her, it's centered around the highest. Like I said, it's kind of like a Jim Jones character. And he's very full of himself. I will say he's more into men, in my opinion, in the show, because he takes men and he likes to say that he likes to say he enlightens them. And when he enlightens them, that means that he have sex with them, he ejaculates inside of them, and then he uses the men to impregnate one of the women and say, that's my seed. So even though you're technically impregnating one of them, that's my child because I had sex with you, and you're transferring your, it's foolishness. It doesn't make any sense, but everybody in this compound is believing that's what it does.
Bobby, I was going to ask you if you wanted to spoil that part of the show, because that ritual is the most interesting thing to me, and it's very homoerotic, and they don't hold back on it either. Like it's very clear.
They show a lot of dicks, they show a lot of ass, they show a lot of titties, they show a lot of cooter. There's literally everything in the show.
Yeah, it is.
But it's very entertaining. Again, there's a lot of problems with it, but it makes it scary because once you join this cult, you can't escape. There's moment, and they have a punishment trailer too. So if you do something that, like if you're breaking the rules or something, they'll put you in this trailer. You're locked up in there, and they'll do unspeakable things to you in there until you come to light and say, I forgive the highest and I'm, following him again. But if you do something such as trying to steal or escape, then they're just going to shoot you or can kill you on sight or torture you until you die. Drugs are involved. They blow this powder in your face to make you believe that you are a part of this family. It's easy for them to bring you into this community by blowing this dust in your face. And sometimes it lingers and sometimes it don't. And if it has lasting effects, I guess it's easier for them to get you. But if not, then you're trying to fight your way to get like, what the fuck happened to me? I got to get out of here. And then that's a whole nother story on its own. But I will say, check out this show. It's very scary. The highest is scary because you don't know what he's going to do, because he has also I guess he has a chemical imbalance, so that means you don't know how he's going to react. And I will say the actor that plays him is terrifying.
He's
he can be talking to somebody and the next minute he's smiling in your face, and then he's choking you out or slapping the shit out of you, or he'll just shoot you or stab you. Like he's just like no tolerance. I'm not about the bullshit. And that's what makes it scary. Well, I'm sure he would love to.
Well, Bobby, I don't know. I love what the women have to wear. I love their little drapage. I love that. So that would be a good selling point for me, because I like how it sort of swoops over. It looks really comfortable.
It's very comfortable. It looks very comfortable. The men in here are sexy. I see why they're going around fucking each other on the side. Yeah. There is a woman on here that's in charge of all the she's an older lady. She's in charge of her name is Elder Mother, but they call her Marva, and she's like a witch. I think she should be in a horror film. She's literally have the most she have the most evil laugh. She does evil things. She's just a horrible human being, but she's doing this to serve the highest. So I love her. she's amazing. I watched the show mostly because of her.
Yeah.
But guys, again, check out Ruthless if y'all haven't. It's very entertaining. It's fun. You might get addicted to it, and yes, that's my
Bobby,
recommendation.
do you think Queen Mother could play Tangina?
I don't know if I could take her serious. I don't know. I can see her playing a role again, like a witch, like an evil witch, because she has that personality. She has that laugh, and I feel like if they do a horror movie centered around like evil black witches or something like that, they should call her because she's great. I love her. But I don't know about Tangina. I mean, she might be able to do it, but I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that. And next, I have The Babysitter. I hope you guys seen this on Netflix. This is a lot of fun. And it's about these this little boy, and he has this babysitter played by Samara Weaving, and she's a part of this cult, and she's trying to sacrifice him because if she sacrifices a child, she gets whatever she wants in life along with the rest of her crew. It's a very fun film. You follow this boy in a journey on trying to get away from Samara Weaving's character along with the people in her crew, and it's bloody, it's entertaining, and I don't know. I might consider joining this cult because it looks like there's a lot of. But at the same time, I know I'm being a hypocrite because I said I don't want to kill kids, and that's what you have to do. But he was like a teenager almost, so I think that's fine. Teenagers are assholes, so they can.
Yes, for sure.
So yes, The Babysitter is one of.
I love The Babysitter. It was fun, and they deserve the sequel. I think Jenna Ortega's in the sequel.
She is.
She is. Yeah, she was a good character for that.
Yeah, and McG did a great job. I think he made this film, and he did the Charlie Angels movies with Cameron Diaz and Julianne Moore and Lucy Liu, and I enjoy both of those films.
Me too.
Even though they're very much for the male gaze, when you look back on those Charlie Angels movies, you're just like, oh, like there's some things in there that's probably.
But that's Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you said it was egregious.
It was. There was also some like racist things in there too. I was just like, oh no.
Oh.
But, yeah, it was early 2000s. Some stuff you can get away with then. Can't do it so much now. But in The Babysitter, there's none of that, so I'm okay with so. And American Horror Story Cult. I mean, we all know this show. I mean, I'm sure we all watched this.
Yeah.
Evan Peters, even though my favorite role in American Horror Story that he's done is Mr. March in Hotel. Like, I just love him in that. To me, I think he's the sexiest there. But performance-wise, I think Cult was his best.
Yeah.
It was scary to see him in that role. I believed how much of a psychopath he was. And I believe in the interview he said too, like after filming this, he took a break because he got so much into the role that it got, to him. And I believe it. Because you're watching these documentaries on these cult leaders and you're studying them. And you're trying to take in those characters and become bits and pieces of those crazy ass people, and put it in your character. And I'm sure that's probably hard to get out of. So that's why I give a lot of actors a lot of props, because when you go that far for your art, and then you have to struggle to get yourself back, that's I don't know how people can do that. So but Cult was an entertaining show. It's very underappreciated. A lot of people don't really like this season of American Horror Story, but as we keep getting newer seasons, and the more I watch this one comes up on the top of my list each time.
Listen.
Yeah.
Top five. And I feel like this was the most realistic American Horror Story as well, and I think that's what made it scarier as well.
It was a straight up slasher. It was a slasher. That scene with Emma Roberts in the park. That was brilliant.
Yes,
and gruesome.
It was a lot of moments like that. When they were beating that guy in the chair, that was just very that was a lot. Like when they were torturing him and they were taking turns, like, you know, that was a lot.
Yeah.
So American Horror Story Cult is one of my favorite seasons of American Horror Story. So if anybody haven't seen it, please check it out. And obviously Hereditary.
Yes.
So Hereditary, this movie still haunts me, y'all. Like,
Oscar.
it's I remember showing this to my partner, and he was thinking of, and he, again, I said this before, he's not the most into horror like I am, but he was thinking about this movie for days because he couldn't believe what he just saw. I don't know why it affected him that much, but it did. I remember when I first seen this, it affected me pretty much the same way. And I couldn't pinpoint the reason why, but now I think why is just because the mystery. I mean, it's in the title, Hereditary. So imagine having this family, being in this family, and you don't know the secrets that lie within your, you know, your family tree, your mom, your grandmother, and you don't understand why these things are happening to you, you know. And then at the end, when it's too late, and you find out those things are happening to you because of, you know, X reason, it's kind of too late and it's fucked up. And I didn't know this was a cult movie really until we got into like later half of the film. When I start seeing people pop up, and then at the very end, we're in the tree house, and you see the people, and they're worshiping Paimon, and I was like, wow, okay. So Hereditary is one of those horror movies that I feel like everybody should check out if y'all haven't checked out. It's very scary. It has some deep moments in it. It's very heartbreaking. It's very deep, I should say. A lot of people would say this is elevated horror, even though we don't like that word. But but if for the people that love it and they want meaning to their horror movies, Hereditary is elevated horror, and it's worth a watch, and I think everybody should check it out. So there you go.
I will never forget watching this movie. And in movies, I scream, I do all of it. I just can't take it sometimes. When the girl head was out the window, I was like, no, no way, no. And then I just
that whole scene, the lead up, her having that, you know, that allergy attack, and then her when it actually happened, her brother's reaction when he just sat there and then drove away and then just went to bed, and then just hearing the next morning his mom's reaction. And you don't even really see it, you just hear Toni Collette. That's why people keep saying Toni Collette should get awards, because her performance in this was just fucking amazing.
This movie is an Oscar steal, honestly. Like,
exactly.
She was nominated for an Oscar, and she could win Best Actress.
She can.
That was a big snub. I'll give you that. That was a big snub.
Yeah. So this is a deep movie, but it is very scary as well. And then when we find out at the end that, you know, the brother, I forgot his name, but he is now possessed by this entity, though, which was the plan all along. It's kind of like, damn, they got him. But now what? Now what? Are we going to destroy the world? Or are we going to, like, I was curious to know what's going to happen after this.
Yeah. Great movie.
Okay, so one of mine is We Summon the Darkness, and I saw this on Netflix. And We Summon the Darkness, it is Alexandra Daddario. That's the one that I knew from it. And then the sister from, I think her name is Maddie Hassan. She was in Malignant. She was the sister in Malignant. So those two together was really good. And, you know, Alexandra, she did American Horror Story Hotel, Percy Jackson.
Isn't she in that witch show too, Anne Rice's? She's so beautiful.
Yeah, she is, right? This was a different type of cult, right? Well, it was a cult story, but it was told from a really different perspective. So it's about these three girls, and they go on this road trip to go to this concert, and it's from their point of view. So you get to meet them, you hang out with them. They are the main characters. Then they meet these boys at this concert, and they take them back to their house, and then they drug them, and then you find out that they're the cult, and they drug these boys and had them tied to this chair to kill them in a sacrificial way, to make it look like it was devil work, and to make it look like it was devil work, because their cult wanted more followers, because the more fear you instill, more believers will come to our cult. So they are doing these murdering sprees across the town, across the world, in this type of devil ceremonial kill to get people to be scared and want to join their cult. So that's their whole mission statement. Spoiler alert.
All right.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I haven't either, but I'm excited to see this.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
just said
gonna
that.
put it in my queue. No, you're good. I'm gonna still check it out.
It's so good. It's it's so fun. The first thing I said after I watched it, if of course it's a Scream reference. If Kirby and Jill was in on it the whole time, this is their sequel.
Okay.
How did Johnny Knoxville handle the role? Because I loved him in Jackass.
He's great. He's great.
Ask you that.
He's great. He's the father. He's the cult leader.
Okay.
That's
amazing. Yeah, he's good. And you don't even see, he's in the third act only.
So he had to stretch. Okay.
Yeah. Poltergeist 2.
Of course, TaMon. I knew you was going to add.
You know this franchise is near and dear to my heart. Poltergeist 2, which is, I would argue, is my favorite one because we got some supernatural powers, we got special effects. Give me a group of psychic clairvoyants. I'm here for that all day long. Great. 2 at the third dropped the ball and didn't give us more of that. But yeah, we found out some information through Diane, who at this point has been like a year later from the first movie, and they're trying to get their life back on track, and they're staying with the grandma, who everyone loves this grandma. I always think she's the same lady that plays everything, but she couldn't be. Like, she's like the woman in Titanic, the old version of whatchamacallit, Joyce.
Rose.
Yeah.
You said Joyce?
Joyce. Rose. So yeah, that same older lady, she played Piper when she was old. You know, they're the same group of people playing the same character in every single thing, right? So I thought it was her, but it couldn't.
Rude.
I didn't mean that in a rude way. It's just like how I feel. But then she passed away. But you find out that this family has this supernatural gift that they've been passing around, and that's super intriguing. And this preacher figure is hunting Carol Ann psychically throughout the whole movie, right? They didn't stress that enough, but that's what's happening to her. Like, he's attacking her. And so that was interesting. And then I love how he confronted Stephen at the front door. And when he started saying God is in his holy temple, I sing that all the time. From that age, I would hum that sometimes.
Please don't.
Because of this movie, because it was so creepy.
TaMon, when I was a kid, I promise you, I had nightmares from this man and him singing that song. And like, to this day, I get goosebumps. Watch it. Oh my God, stop. I'm taking these out. Like, it's so like haunting, especially like being a kid and like seeing that, you know what I mean? And then to see him proceed to, like, when she goes in the house and he's like sitting there having that talk with the father, and then he just goes off like, "You're all gonna die." I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is scariest scene to me in the movie.
Yeah, that scene flashes, that whole walkway scene flashes in my head, and then
It is.
when were you talking about when they were in the cavern and he sort of flashed through them?
Oh God.
And why wouldn't they get ready to teleport in? That's how he brings them in. He sort of comes through there. Yeah. That scene always scares me.
Yes.
Yeah. Bobby Kane.
Oh yeah. Then you find out he was this psycho man who predicted the end of the world, and he took these group of people across the desert and they hid in this cavern. And the day came and went, and he still wouldn't let them leave.
Nope.
True
even
cult.
dead.
Yeah. Amen.
That's
true
wild.
cult. Status. So
yeah, absolutely, true cult status.
Great pick.
They actually have a lore about him, like what he has control of his followers in the afterlife and all of that. They had so much gold with that storyline to move forward if people took more care of the franchise.
Yeah,
and I love part 3, but
it has its moments. Yeah,
part 3 should be Carol Ann's story when she was an adult.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually like all 3. Like, even though
I love all of
the first one's great, all 3 of them are good to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I just hope that they stick. No, I was just saying, I hope they stick with this particular storyline when they come up with the new movie from MGM.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah,
Amazon. Yeah, stick with this storyline. We can cast somebody who could be the adult Carol Ann and just let it come from
Drew
there.
Barrymore.
You know, people are mad at her right now, but go ahead.
She's still in trouble.
Yeah, she's still in trouble, baby.
Is she? I thought people forgave her.
Yeah,
no, I know some folks who are still dragging her right now. So I'm just saying.
Hollywood still love her, so if they had the opportunity, they would still get her in.
Yeah, it's Drew Barrymore.
And if she kills the role, it could do some favors for her public image, hopefully.
Yeah, like let me do something to show my respect. So Drew Barrymore and her daughter is the girl in the new Pretty Little Liars. She was in Strangers 2. She was in the Good Witch TV show as well. That she has the thicker cheeks. That girl.
I don't watch the Good Witch.
Okay, she was in the Strangers 2.
I know you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And she was in the new Pretty Little Liars.
Okay.
Her.
Yeah.
That's her.
Okay.
Daughter. That's who I was casting her as her daughter.
That's a good choice. I like that.
Sexy.
Yeah. They got those cheeks. But yeah. So yeah, this one is very special to me. Kevin Williamson, one of my favorite writers of all times. This one has multiple reasons. It's about FBI agent. This guy here played by Kevin Bacon, and a year before that, he was part of he caught this murderer named John Carroll, and John Carroll was a serial killer who was by day a professor at a college. So he killed all these girls in the sorority house and did all these other things, and he caught him. And so in the new movie, you have his same type of killings being repeated throughout the town. And you find out that there's a cult. And so at the time, Kevin Bacon's character was married to this woman named Claire. And Claire, the killer had a very attraction to Claire. He wanted Claire to be his wife. Oh, it was his wife, actually. Claire was his wife. And then she actually ended up liking the main character after he found out he was a killer. But the storyline is so scary because he uses people like babysitters. He uses people like your next door neighbors. That these are the people in the cult. So it's also showing planning and intention behind setting this part of your life on fire. And so once things go into play, you figure out that this person who's been in your life for 5 years doesn't really give a shit about you. They're not really your friend. They're only here on assignment to actually kill you. So that's
so scary.
It is so scary. It was the premise of the script was originally the Scream 3 storyline about the cult.
Oh,
yeah.
I wonder if
but they couldn't do it. They should. What else? Where else could you go? I think they could,
because not trying to deviate off the topic at hand though, but
it's great.
Richie from Scream 5 clearly has a cult following, especially with the beginning. If you have not seen Scream 6, it's on Paramount Plus. You should have seen it by now. I can't talk because I haven't seen Midsommar yet. But anyway, so
you're okay.
Okay, Mark.
Okay. But what I was saying,
wait, hold on. He needs to at least watch it once, Ryan.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Because he might like it.
Yeah, you might
move
like
that higher up your queue.
Yes.
But I was just saying that the beginning of Scream 6, one of the killers that got killed was like, we still got to finish Richie's movie, and to me that just led to a whole different possibility for there to be like a sale of Ghostface out there waiting to be activated.
That's a good point, because they have to have community to understand that. They had a subreddit group, that's what they call it, but that's community, which that turns into actually a cult by itself without even trying. I'm in tons of group chats, and I'm sure everybody that would be the Gale group that I was sitting after Ryan. I'm probably sure I can make that happen.
I was waiting for it. But the thing is, and they do have like shadows of that in Scream already, so y'all are onto something, because like how Mrs. Loomis met Mickey in the chat room, so exactly that there's something there.
Yep, exactly.
She told her about it. That's how many active serial killers there were out there, and I bet you there's a lot of missing Here my true crime brain come in again. There's a lot of missing people out there that could possibly be the victims of active serial killers and stuff like that, which made the following, because I did watch the first season. It was just like paranoia to the infinite power, because goddamn, who can you trust?
Mhm.
Who the fuck can you trust? It was like every
Yeah.
5 minutes somebody was getting shaken by somebody who they was really caring about. Like, Jesus, this is why I don't like people.
Yeah.
Y'all crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that show. And oh, Cult again. Yeah, I love the show. I watched all the seasons. They had the cast was good too. They had Sean Ashmore, who played Iceman in Marvel.
I
Oh.
love
Mhm.
Sean
In
Ashmore.
the 90210 reboot, they had Silver. She was Tori Spelling's younger
Oh,
sister.
Jessica Stroop, how
Jessica
pronounce her
Stroud.
last name?
Yeah, Jessica Stroud.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Prom Night reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
She
Poor
was in the
girl.
TV show too. Yeah, poor girl, right?
Okay, so this is my pick. Like Bobby said, I think Bobby explained it eloquently. When Cult came out, I did do a episode by episode breakdown of the season back in the day for M3. A lot of people shit on Cult, but I think that a lot of people shit on Cult is because it showed a mirror to a lot of people and how they acted during the 2016 election,
Yeah.
and they didn't like what they saw. That's all there was, in my personal opinion, because I noticed that a lot of people who had issues with it, they were more along the lines of they voted for a certain person. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
And it just like screamed, yeah, this is boring. This is not for me. But again, Kai, what's my name? We just talked about this man. Evan Peters'
Parker,
character,
yeah.
Kai Parker, uttered the scariest line for me out of all. I haven't seen season 11 or 12 of American Horror
I'm
Story.
sure it's okay.
But he uttered the scariest line when they were, spoiler alert, they was getting ready to kill a person. And he started typing out her obituary, her suicide note on Facebook.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
was like, nobody's gonna believe you. He said, of course they'll believe me because it's on Facebook. And that scared me because that was facts. You won't believe how many people, it's 2023, and you would not believe how many people believe anything they read on Facebook. That's one of the reasons why I got off of Facebook like in 2017, was like, I can't do this no more. It's so much misinformation. I lost friends that I knew from childhood based on misinformation and stuff like that, and them being kind of indoctrinated or programmed into believing these lies. And to this day, even though they've been debunked untrue, they've been debunked, they just still hold fast to it. And this show just showed how power and the incel culture, or I call them incels, the incel culture, or like the bro culture and everything like that, can be very problematic. And if you give them the leeway, they're going to just bulldoze over anybody, because they had people in all different places. They had, what's her name on the news, propaganda. Yep. They had, what's his name, who was on the police force. That's, enforcement. You know what I'm saying? It's just, when you have people in different areas of community and government, and they can sit there and turn around and just bulldoze over, it's terrifying, y'all. Please go back and watch this season. After 4 years of Trump, and then after all the shit that's going on right now in the House of Representatives and the Senate and whatnot, go back and rewatch this, and you'll see that it was just telling us what was going to happen and what has happened and what is still going on to this day. So that's why I picked it. Go ahead.
Sometimes people can't separate between art and just work, right? And personal, and that personal. I'm one of those people, I can separate the two. So when I watched the season, I thought it was beautiful. Like I said, it's a straight up slasher. Sarah Paulson is really good in this role.
Yeah. Even though she was screaming more than usual.
She was.
She was. She definitely was. But this story, how the arc of the story is weird. So it was always about her, but it felt more like from Kai's perspective from sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a really good way to tell those two stories over the story arc to make them nemesis towards the end.
Right, because they were antitheses of each other. They
Exactly.
were the extremes of each of those polarities. You know what I'm saying? He
Mhm.
was the extreme conservative, I guess, like and she was the extreme liberal, or whatever you would call it. And because see, she lost her wife technically
Mhm.
because she was
We got
so
Ivy
over the
together. She
top.
got Ivy right together.
Sure did.
Yeah, it's just
But
like damn.
yeah, when it goes back to what you were saying too, TaMon, when you said you could like separate the art and like what's real life current events. I feel like for some people, because we're horror fans naturally, there's some casual viewers too that like American Horror Story because they just want to see the scary shit. But for them, it was too soon. They're like, oh, this is literally happening right now, and we're going through this as we're watching this. I don't want to see this right now. Maybe
Yeah.
later down the line. And I feel like now is the perfect time to watch it if you feel
Yeah.
like it was too soon for you that time.
Yeah,
I
I
agree with
co-sign
that.
Yeah.
And I also feel like speaking for myself, around the time that like Cult came out, I had got into this bad holding pattern where I felt like American Horror Story was struggling, like after like the first quarter, like really landing the plane sometimes. And so I think I stepped into this with a bias, and it blew me away. I love Cult, but I think there may have been a lot of people who also turned it off because of that. Maybe they were
Mhm.
expecting the show to take a turn for the worse, but Cult is actually, no pun intended, like a cult classic, and it has aged really well.
Yeah.
Like
It
it,
has.
I really love everything y'all are saying about it, because as American Horror Story has gone on, I think it just gets overlooked in the ratings. Like people just kind of throw so much shade at it, and it's not deserved.
It's not.
Yeah.
Granted, I will talk about this after we get through shooting. So let's leave it there.
I think Evan Peters is could be studied in this role.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
100%, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all.
Ooh, which one?
Note. A note. I watched this. My 40-year-old black ass watched this in its entirety for the first time last night.
Oh, that movie.
And I just threw it in this because I was blown away. Like, I want to sit there and read so much about the movie itself because I had issues with the main character. Because I was like, you're supposed to be this good guy, but as soon as when the movie starts, he lands a little, I guess, jetty plane or something like that on Summer Isle. And I was like, okay, first of all, you're coming off kind of rude. Right off the boat, like right off the plane, you're off just throwing your weight around these people and stuff like that. And as the movie went on, I was trying to like be on his side. I'm like, you are not helping at all. And the reason why I was already on that level is because the ending had been spoiled so many times for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was picked as one of the most scariest movies or moments in horror history and something like this. So that's why I first heard about it. And I was like, well, they didn't spoil the movie, so what's the point of me watching it? Okay, watching it last night, knowing what was going to happen in the end, but seeing the journey to that gave me so much appreciation for it that I had to pick it as one of my favorites, because I knew that somebody might have picked Midsommar. I knew somebody was going to probably pick Hereditary or any of the picks that we already got. I knew somebody was going to pick something like that. I was like, I want to do something different. And I said, Mark, just jump into the Wicker Man because it does center around some type of cult. But I don't know. It's just, I need to watch it like 5 more times because I have so many things to say about it that does not hold enough time. We don't have enough time for me to go through everything I want to talk about with it. So I'm thinking about doing a podcast episode about it. If y'all want to join and talk about it on the podcast, that'd be great. Because I have words And they're not bad words. It's just that I love this movie. And then to come to find that there was a fucking spiritual sequel called The Wicker Tree. And I didn't know that was a thing. So now I got to go find The Wicker Tree and see what that's all about.
Okay. So Death Note, the TV series from 2013 to 2016. I'm pretty sure most people have heard about it or have already seen it, but it's really about a kid who was really bored with the structure in his life. He's like a straight A student, type A personality. And he receives a death note, which is like essentially a journal from a Shinigami, which is a death god. And it allows him to kill people by just writing their name. And if he doesn't say how they die within 40 seconds, they suffer a heart attack. But he can get specific. So he can actually control how they die and things like that. And because he's so smart, he starts to utilize all of the rules around the Death Note to make amazing things happen. I'm not going to talk about anything with the Death Note because I don't think it behooves anyone who is really new to this adventure to just know anything about it. All you need to know is a bored kid who is a type A personality gets a Death Note. Now, the reason it's on this list is when you're watching the series, I think it's like between the cusp of season 1 and season 2 because there's only 36 episodes, which is another reason the show is so good because they don't beat a dead horse. I think sometimes people get greedy. They want money.
Yes, God.
So they just beat a dead horse and things need to die. Death Note's not like that. And it's probably because it's based on a manga series. But there were a group of people who came to realize not only is someone, and they refer to him as Kira, which means killer in Japanese, like Kira is actually taking out criminals because that's how this kid decides. Spoiler alert. He decides to use the journal to kill criminals. They build up a cult of Kira and they use the internet primarily to organize. And they would oftentimes send people to Kira to kill. And the cults got so big, they ended up on public broadcast TV where people were literally submitting death like wishes for people on broad television. So I think Death Note is a really great, and we talked about it a little bit in the hot seat. Like it definitely was one of my favorite depictions of a cult because so many times with cults, and I'm not trying to be shady to anyone who's gone through that experience because even though we're kikiing about it and stuff, people really do get sucked into this stuff and it's really hard for them to get out. Like it's a real life thing, right? But a lot of the indoctrination is based on promising things that are faith-based pretty much, you know what I mean? But in Death Note, in this world, those promises are made manifest. Imagine like someone who did your family harm, who slipped through the criminal system, right? Or the legal system. They have a heart attack in their cell and you feel like this entity named Kira did it. That is a very easy way for you to have belief in Kira because how many times, especially as people of color, do we see people who do us dirty get away with it because of whatever system? Like, I really like how they do cults in Death Note, like a lot. Like I wouldn't suggest the movies. I wouldn't suggest the movies because the movies are not that good. And it's no shade. It's just there's something about that anime, and you could read the manga as well. The manga is really good, but the movies just kind of lose some of that magic.
Come on, Death Note. I had the like at my job we had the manga and I was thinking about picking it up so I can like start my journey there because I know I've seen like the Netflix thing and I kept saying no, don't watch that bullshit. Don't watch that bullshit. It's horrible. So I said, okay, I'll start with the original. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read the manga first and then get into this, and I just leave the American version alone, I guess.
I think Lakeith Stanfield's in it, and he's playing the lead detective. So that's and I might be mixing him up. If somebody's listening to this and they know that is not that man, I love you, Lakeith.
Love him too, but come on now.
Come on now.
Yes.
Okay. So although I put Suspiria on my list, I specifically am talking about the newer one. Argento's original one is beautiful, so I'm not even throwing shade at it. It has nothing to do with that. I just really like the handling of the new one in terms of I'm trying not to talk too much because you're not allowed to talk shit about the original Suspiria, and on top of that, I love it. I'm just saying I'm pushing people towards the new one. That's all. But if you never experienced it, it's about a dance studio. Well, it appears to be a dance studio. The things I love, especially as somebody who is, I'm a super nerd, I'm a super geek. There is something in Dungeons and Dragons when it comes to the magic system where there's like different types of magic, right? There's like, we won't go through the list. The point is this: the spells that they cast here aren't verbal, they're body spells. Like when you're moving your body, you're unlocking the spells of ancients because you're moving in their image and therefore bringing on the effect of what they were hoping to achieve. I think that's brilliant. I like the marrying of like the dance studio, the coven, and the cult. It's just, oh my God, I'm obsessed with Suspiria. That's all I'm going to say because I won't shut the hell up otherwise.
So good.
When you mentioned it initially, I was going to say, when you mentioned it initially, Ryan, I knew you were talking about the remake because I've went into this with the whole, you can't talk about Dario Argento. This ain't gonna hold a candle to Dario Argento, baby. My mind was blown. And the witches themselves, like, I was just like enthralled with them, or the teachers rather, like, there's so much great in this movie. And not good. There's so much great in this movie. And that if people would take that bias out of it when they come into it and just look at it for what it is up front, then they will thoroughly enjoy it. That's just my personal opinion. But yes,
I agree with you.
Yeah, sorry, Bobby.
Mark, you know that's Nev Campbell's favorite horror movie.
Is it?
Which one? The original or the remake?
The original.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I wonder how she feel about the remake because
she's a dancer too. Remember, she's a dancer.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wish she still dances.
Well, I wonder what she thinks about
probably...
that dance scene in the new Suspiria.
That was some
that one. If I ever meet her, I want to ask her that question. What do you think about that scene in that movie? I'm curious.
All right, so my next one is Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you know what's funny? Like, at first glance, anyone who has seen the movie is like, there's no cult. But in reality, it kind of is. There's togetherness, there's community, which is a good thing, right? But the stuff they're resorting to keep their normal state of living is actually very problematic. And on top of that, Brad and Janet are only brought into it due to something that, okay, let me back away for a little bit. So when Brad and Janet come into this cult, when they first encounter it, they are actually happy with their lives. Like they're getting married to one another. And yes, they're super conservative, but their life is fine. But it isn't until they compare themselves to all of the, I don't even know what to call it, that's going on at this damn
Transylvanians
mansion, that they start to get allured to something that they haven't really entertained before. And I think it kind of shows how it could happen to certain people who would never catch themselves in these type of situations. If you would imagine someone like a Frankenfurter meeting like Brad and Janet, like they would never be in the same circles together probably. But the circumstance was right. And it's just a fun movie. I didn't want all my movies to just be like Suspiria, which, I like movies like that and stuff, but I was tempted to fill this space with Neon Demon, for example, because I think like there's a cult aspect to that, but I wanted to have a little bit of fun, and I think Rocky Horror Picture Show is definitely like a great example of that.
Yes.
Come on, Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts ate. She did. And old girl from our show, Lovecraft Country, she was in it.
Neon Demon, yeah.
The one that played I can't think of her name now, but the one that played in Lovecraft Country, she played the sister. She was in Neon Demon too.
Oh,
I didn't know that. I gotta go back and watch it.
I think her name was Ruby in the show.
The white girl. Sorry, the one with the long hair.
Yeah.
Oh, her. Okay.
The villain.
Yeah, when I said sister, y'all like, hold up now. We all thinking about Ruby. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right.
Okay,
Christina, whatever her name.
Yeah. Thank you,
Christina. Yeah,
Christina Cartwright or something. Brightwhite.
Yeah,
Brightwhite. Yeah.
There we go. And then my last one is Hellraiser.
Yes.
Because for the same reason, a Rocky Horror Picture Show. These are some sexy ass demons. They just want to have a good time tearing your soul apart. They're definitely a cult. And they're damn well dressed doing it. All that leather. I mean, it looks scary at first sight because his nipples are inverted, but y'all have to understand the ambient lighting, the mist, the gallantry, like no. Whatever.
It's scary.
Y'all are just saying that because you're not there. I think if you experience it, you'll feel different.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Painful. I'm scared.
But it's definitely giving cult vibes.
Oh, it is.
100%. Yes, that is my list.
I will say I love Hellraiser.
Yes, God.
It's
Yeah,
one
me
of my
too.
faves.
No one. I'm really shocked no one mentioned Rosemary's Baby.
See,
we all
I thought about
did
that.
for the same
Yeah.
reason. We did for the same reason. We
Okay.
all know.
Yeah.
Stop it right now.
Why did you say Rosemary's Baby? Rosemary, honorable mention goes out to Rosemary Baby. You know we love you. It's just that, I mean, hello, we know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your deceitful husband.
Very.
Well, shout out to Emma Roberts, who's reliving the same thing on this season of American Horror Story called
Delicate.
It's called Nothing. That's what it's called. Because it's
y'all know I started reading that
It's
damn
about
book
nothing.
in preparation for the season. It's not given. The book ain't
It's
given
not.
either. So
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
for real?
It's the
Delicate.
same thing.
Delicate. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
American Horror Story Delicate is not giving. Everyone says so.
It's the
awful.
same thing happening every single episode.
I
Like,
really
got
thought Emma
bored.
Roberts, okay, she's about to bring the season, the show back. Her age group, no, not at all. It's flat. Her husband's miscast. It's just awful.
I like her
I think
husband,
it has a lot
but
to
just
do-
not.
He looks too old for her.
No, he doesn't. He looks
I
about
think
her
it has a lot to
age.
do with. Let me stop. Okay, there we go, caping again. I was gonna say the writer's strike might have had something to do with it, and the fact that them
No.
what were they call the protesters were hitting this set up like almost every day. Ryan was trying to shoot a scene, and I'm like, I'm giving them too much credit because
The
I'm like,
writing
I
was
had 4
trash.
episodes.
The
Nothing
writing was
to do with
trash.
anything. That has
Nothing.
nothing. The strike has nothing to do with what we got on film because that was already done.
That's what I was saying. Like I was like, let me stop
Not
caping
y'all
because
being
I haven't
done.
seen an episode, and I was like, I didn't want to see it, but
Don't waste your time, Mark.
The story is that we already know the story, so just tell us the story in an interesting way, right? Like
Yeah.
with Suspiria, that's the same story but in a different makeup. This is exactly Rosemary's Baby, but you're slow walking us like it's going to be some huge explosion of something, and it gives us nothing. Emma Roberts gets tortured and PTSD and gaslit every episode, and that's all that's happening for the
Nothing is
last
moving.
5 episodes.
If
Nothing is
y'all
moving
want-
forward. It's just the same thing. It's like I'm watching the same
Jesus.
episode every single week, and it
Oh,
was pissing me off.
Yes,
Literally.
If y'all want Rosemary's Baby, but like you don't want kind of like how Delicate tried to do it, this is going to be random. It doesn't have like a cult, but The Baby on HBO, which is just
amazing.
I
I love that
heard.
show.
I love
Yeah.
The
Talked about
Baby.
that last season. We talked about that last season.
So good.
It's a great option.
Oh,
Like
God.
I would push people over there. Like if you grew up, because y'all know the tea. Like I used to love Rosemary's Baby and stuff. Like I mean, it's no question, but at a certain point, I did kind of need to be ushered into something else for all the reasons that we can guess. And The Baby is definitely a great alternative, and it has like
Yeah.
a queer story in it that is just
Yes.
really good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good show.
I mean, the pilot was good. Like I was hooked in the pilot. Okay, and to close out, me and Michael went to see this movie called Malum in the movie theater, and it's about this. It has a black lead, biracial lead, and she's gorgeous. She plays a cop who's doing her first round to watch this deserted cop station. It's like the one that doesn't get anybody comes to it. They stopped doing stuff because years before that, a police officer killed everyone inside and himself. Okay, so that's why they shut it down. That's part of the main story, so that's not going to be a surprise. So that's not a spoiler. And she goes there and she figure out her connections to the past may be special to this entire story. And then you find out that there's a cult leader who was arrested the same day that the cop did the shooting, and they had a one-on-one, and they recorded the conversation. So it's almost like he activated something in the cop, and then he came in and started killing everybody. So it's a really cool story. It's trippy in the third act, and even the ghosts and apparitions that attack her throughout the night, you can't tell if they're real or if they're not. But it's still a cult, and it's large, but it's really interesting. Check it out.
Will do.
I know that it was the director's, I guess, bigger budget version of the original movie, which was called Last Shift, I believe.
Yep. Last Shift.
I know a lot of people were talking about, they was shitting on this movie before it even came out, which I thought was just disrespectful, because it's not like somebody from over here made the movie again. The man wanted to update his damn movie. Why can't he update his goddamn movie? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a try. I just don't know if it's streaming. Was it streaming anywhere?
It could be on HBO
I know
Max.
It came out early this year, wasn't it? Okay.
It could be on HBO
I was gonna wait
Max.
for streaming. When did it come out? Was it this year or last year?
Last year, 2022.
It don't seem like it. Seemed like it just came out early this
year.
No,
it was 2023. It was 23. It was this year.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna check into it. I'm gonna give it because I love Jessica. What's her last name? Jesus Christ. She was in Split, and she was also in the Scream Resurrection season. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in Skins. I first saw her in Skins. So she's British.
Okay. Ryan asked us earlier, would we want to see the Scream TV show universe intertwined with the mainstream storyline? That was me and Bobby's reaction as well. Okay, well, Ryan, Ryan, you said some egregious things to me this evening, and I would just like to know, we are about to travel to the hell seat together, and just be prepared for whatever happens.
Okay.
Get your holy water.
I'll get the prayer cloth. Oh no.
Welcome to the hell seat. And I just want you to know that I am an advocate for Gail Weathers, former Riley, and everyone who knows me understands that. But I'm also can be non-biased about what should happen to her in a film. And I would say that, I would never kill her, but, that may be my fanboy saying that. And I'm okay if it's not. But we're fine. First question. Which horror movie icon would be a great cult leader?
Okay. A cult figure who would be a good leader. No, a horror movie that would be a good cult figure leader. Mm-hmm. I would say it has to be a really strong personality. Like really, really strong. This is gonna sound random. Ripley from the Alien series. And it's not for the obvious reasons. I just feel like she has like a really strong personality. Mm-hmm. She's somebody who has like actually went through things that's documented, so people wouldn't question her, and it would make her a very unlikely suspect. Like if she were to come to me, I would have so much respect for her for everything she went through that she would be a really scary cult leader, especially considering that there are like pieces of the Alien storyline where she's actually been, I don't remember which one it was, but like where she actually has like the alien over top of her and she's moving in an evil way as a clone. But I don't know. I think she would be a really scary cult leader. Like very, very scary. I don't know why I feel that way.
Do you think she can deliver that cult leader speech you got to have? Is she charismatic enough to be a cult leader?
I think so. I think she would be like, because when you go through a bunch of cult leaders, like they all have like different like leadership styles. So I think that would make her even more disarming because
Yeah.
you would be expecting something like a Charles Manson or something like a like Jim Jones. I can't think of his name right now. That we were talking about earlier from Jonestown, but yeah, I think it would be disarming.
Yeah.
Because there are certain people who, because of like true crime and horror and stuff, they're expecting a certain type of cult leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would fuck me up, man. I don't know. She might even get me, to be honest.
And honestly, Sigourney Weaver will probably destroy that role.
Yeah, I can see that.
I loved her in Copycat.
Yeah, I didn't see her.
Oh God, Copycat is amazing. You have to watch it. She's being stalked by a killer, but who testified. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You just got to watch it. Copycat.
What era is it? What year is this?
Oh my God, I think it's. Let me see, the 1995.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to see that then. I love that era. I love that.
She was so good in it. Okay, question number 2. And you can't use your answer you've already said, but a perfect segue, I will say. Which final girl do you think would have a cult?
Okay. You know what's funny? I would actually say, because of the comic books, Kirsty Cotton. Because as you already know, she becomes the new Hell Priest in the Hellraiser comic books. So prior to seeing that, I probably wouldn't believe it. But she does a great job. Like, and it's similar to Ripley. Like she's been through things, so it's very easy. It's easy to follow her and respect her because she actually does know how to be either side of the coin. She can be birth or destruction. So definitely Kirsty Cotton.
That was an interesting choice, and you sold me on it.
There's something about her.
No.
Wait, what happened?
We had a recommendation. I got a psychic message from the other realm, and someone said to me, Alice Johnson. I think Michael is speaking out to me right now.
Oh,
Alice Johnson. Bobby, wait, Alice Johnson, could she be
a good cult leader? I don't see why not.
I can count the ways how not.
Oh my God.
But I will not. That's not what we're here for. I will not speak of Alice while Michael is not here.
He's gonna pop up on your ass.
Okay,
he's gonna be the first member of the cult.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he will be the cult. He will be Kai from Cult. I promise you. Next question. Cast a black cult movie.
If I had to do a black cult movie, I really like what Bobby was talking about with that Tyler Perry show because I feel like with black people, I'm not trying to be shady, but I'm just being real. You wouldn't be able to use the same tactics to get us, I don't think, because like when the system mistreats a group of people, what is the first fallback? Community. You you look out for one another in a way that you kind of have to sustain in today's society. So it's almost like inadvertently a superpower against cult mentality. And I think that's why like certain people who have been through things, they see cults differently because it's like life has struggle in it, but it doesn't make life any less worth living. No. I don't need to go over onto that side to get something. I've been riding by myself. I've been making it happen for me and my family. That's the vibe that you get from us. So if a cult movie is going to work, this is the only way it's going to have to work. It's dark, but there would definitely have to be some religiosity to it. That's like the step one, because that is one of the pockets that I think we tend to use as like a source of strength. Yeah. So it would have to have religiosity. It would also have to have families involved in it. And this would actually be a really interesting horror movie because that means whoever the person coming in is would actually have some type of backstory or experience where they see both sides of what religion can be, like whether it's wielded in someone's hand. Like they actually have things that have happened to them in their past. They're a member of the church, but they're also not unaware of what things can be. Maybe they're new to a particular church as they're being indoctrinated, and what pulls them in is a moment of weakness versus knowing what their actual truth is. So
Yeah.
like we all fall down, like that saying. So like maybe the character is actually somebody who they suffer a horrible loss that pulls them into this church, and they start the process of being indoctrinated. But then as the story unfolds and they get these red flags, and it has to be slow because I feel like I said, it's tricky to get us. But once they start to get these red flags, the key to making it out is remembering who you are and knowing what you knew before coming into it, is that it could be either side of the coin. So if I were to cast it, I would want somebody in the lead that knows how to do the role. And I don't know, I don't know who that would be right now. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm searching my memory. I don't know. Who would you? I don't know. Like,
it's about us. It's all about image, and that's what this boils down to.
Yeah,
and range, and that's in that order. So I could see Boris Kujos can be convincing. I can see him being very convincing. If Usher did a horror movie, that would be fun for him because he's very charismatic and charming.
I'm shocked he hasn't come back to horror. I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, he'll be great to come back.
I could see him in that, especially he's age appropriate.
Lorenz Tate.
Yeah. I wanted to say Megan Good, but she's been in a few horror things that have been more low budget. So I don't know if I don't know if she has it in her. Like I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. So, we both like somebody. Fucking why can't I think of her name right now? From East Bayou and Lovecraft Country.
Smollett.
Yeah, she needs to come back into
something. It would be great. Now that's a good lead for that. Journey Smollett would be great. So my next sort of side question to that: what's the location?
The Bible Belt, like the
absolutely okay. We were in the same.
Yeah. Yep. You feel that too, because I feel like that's a natural place for that type of story. I think.
Yeah, and what time period?
Modern, because otherwise it starts to take on too much of that stuff that everyone in our fan base is asking less of. Like, we don't want it to be about race. Like, everyone is of the particular race or whatever, that's fine. But it needs to be now. It needs to be now. It hits different now.
Yeah. Okay.
We can even scale back to the 90s because that's still technically a period piece, but like I don't want it to be
any further.
I don't want to. Yeah, no.
Okay, that's fair. The 90s will be fun because you almost get like a prequel and a current storytelling. What's going on? Yeah, just like flashbacks and different ways to tell the story. But I like it being present. Okay. My next question for you is name 8 horror characters that would be 9 horror characters that would be in a cult together.
Okay, so I would definitely see. Let's see, 9.
And this can be villains also.
Okay, we're gonna start with Jennifer Jolie in Scream 3 because of the type of personality she has. I see her being under Stu Macher because I still have this feeling like Stu Macher could actually be building a cult. Like, I actually do get that vibe. I feel like Hallie could have been in that cult in some capacity. I know she's gone, so we're gonna nix her. I could see characters like, let me see,
the sisters from Scream 2, the 2 sorority sisters.
You think they could be in it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
That would be interesting. That'd be saucy, especially because I wonder how Sam would be in that environment. Because like that, y'all know how I love when she goes berserk.
Yeah,
I love that a lot. Definitely. There was this movie Bobby recommended to me called Starry Eyes. The main girl from that, even though she was completely ran through by the end of that story. I mean, she looked beautiful, but child, I wouldn't want it for nobody, not even my enemies. Let me see who else I would put in this cult. I would also put, even though I talk trash about Midsommar, I actually want that character to come back. The one that ends up with her at the end, Danny's partner, fucking, I can't think of his name. Not Ingmar. That's his brother. what is his name? The Pele. There we go. Pele. I'd want to see him in that because he's like a master manipulator. I think he was manipulating, like he'd be the leader next to Stu. This is a chaotic cult. Because I feel like he was manipulating the story from the beginning. So Pele, not Ingmar, because I'm tired of him. I would also take no, Ryan, don't do that.
Come on, please.
I was gonna say Angela from Sleepover Camp, but that's just more fan service. And then fucking Iris from Amityville. It's About Time because it is me.
Is that 9?
Yeah, right. Did I skip one? I think that's 9.
Okay, I love it.
Bobby said Iris.
Iris has to come.
She gotta come through. Sis got it going. Oh, actually, if I did skip one, Roger from American Dad. Can we get him in there?
Sure, we can take him. What about Mrs. Loomis? No,
The thing is,
not Mrs. Loomis, but Mrs. Voorhees. That's what I meant, Mrs. Voorhees.
You know what? If it had been either of them, I feel a similar way. I think they would pretend to be going along with the indoctrination, but really they're running the whole damn thing. They're really like strong in their convictions. They're mama bears, and you don't fuck with a mama bear at all.
Oh yeah, Charles Lee Ray. Yeah, he does have a cult, the cult of Chucky. So wow, he actually has a movie.
I could see him doing like him like as himself like back in the day, and then if we're doing that time period, there's so many girlies that could be in that. Oh my god,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle. Oh, you were talking about the actresses. Did I make a fool of myself? You're talking about the actresses.
No, this is fine.
Okay, because I was about to say definitely Michelle Pfeiffer. I just like Sajiji Weaver. Sajiji. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now because I can't say that woman's name.
And your final question. It's okay. Your final question.
Yes.
Which one of the Scream Kings will make a great cult leader?
Mike. And I'm explaining to you why. Because Mike is an agent of chaos on the low. I love you, Mike, when you're listening to this, but he is an agent of chaos. And I didn't know until we started talking Big Brother strategy stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. That's what told on him.
It's true. He is the god of war, the king of war. He's yes. And
I didn't know.
Y'all be jumping him. No, we do not be jumping him. We're defending ourselves. He be self-defense. Well, that was your last question, and that you answered that really quickly. I want that to be noted. And
there was no question.
There was no question. No. All right, let's return back to everyone else. Good job, Ryan. Good job. I didn't know you love Sigourney so much.
I do. As soon as I can say her name, then I can be a real fan.
Have you seen Heartbreakers?
No.
Okay, we'll talk later.
The problem is, TaMon, that Ryan confuses Sigourney with Susan Sarandon all the time.
Lies.
So sometimes you don't even be knowing which one he be talking about.
Lies.
Wow.
Stepmom and Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts. Susan Sarandon is from Rocky Horror.
Listen, it's been a long life, okay?
I used to confuse Charlize Theron and what's her name? Oh my
Susan
god.
Sarandon?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Someone said, I hate to say this on the air, but I was watching an episode of Mean Tweets, and they Kate Blanchett was reading her mean tweet and said, Kate Blanchett looks like Nicole Kidman's ghost. And so
that was so rude.
Disrespectful.
Wow.
That is.
Well, I always
it don't be no receipts.
Right.
The two women I always confuse. I get it together now. But the two women I used to confuse a lot recently was Samara Weaving and Margot Robbie.
That's understandable.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you can really switch their names around on videos, and it wouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody recently. They actually did a whole interview on it. I wish I could remember it. If it comes to me, I'll send it to you guys after the fact. But somebody There's another case of this happening lately, and it catches me every time. Who was it? I'm gonna keep looking while if it's Susan Sarandon.
Oh my god.
Well,
Okay.
So that has been our last segment for the evening, fellas. Thank you so much for hanging out and everyone who's watching. Quotes, I was really freaked out by those quotes, by the way. That was probably the most the tingling thing for me for the entire episode. Yeah, let's not join a cult unless you can show us the way to Hogwarts.
Yes.
No wands, though, but
have the bookman on.
Okay. Where do we sign? Draw our blood. Come on, magicians.
Come on, magicians.
Do some hand touch. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that show.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was.
It was so good. It deserved more time.
Sometimes when shows get overhyped on filler, me and Mill to this day we call it fillery, just because of that.
Fillery.
Yeah, it just fits.
So yeah, if y'all haven't checked out Magicians, you can watch it on Netflix. It's a cool ride. It's very adult. It's very like Hogwarts, but with rated R.
Yeah.
Splash of Chronicles of Narnia. We good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been fun, guys. I'm TaMon Kane. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, and Twitch for sure. I do horror gaming streaming. Check me out there. And yeah. And Ron, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok at Brother Ghoulish. Right now, we're covering the Twilight Zone. I'm covering the Twilight Zone. I've been doing recaps and deep dives. I'm about 20 episodes or so in by the time. I'm covering the Twilight Zone at Brother Ghoulish on TikTok. Jesus.
It's the burning elephant, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Elephant Fire co-leader.
Whatever.
What's the colors?
Get out my face.
It's definitely violent.
Yes.
Violet and red and scarlet.
I love that.
Wow.
Oh, that's sexy.
Guys, you can find me, Bobby Torres with Fazina out of S on Twitter /X, Instagram, Bobby Likes a Spooky on the YouTubes, and People Under the Scares podcast. We just came back. And obviously here in the altar tapes, because I'm still doing that as well.
And you guys can find me on X for now, because I noticed that a lot of people have done a big mass exodus off of X this past week due to Elon Musk, so dumbass. But anyway, you can find me on there at the Anti-Critic. You can find me on Instagram at Midnight Social Distortion and Marco Estes, and you can find me on TikTok at Marco Estes, Threads, Marco Estes, and at Blue Sky, Marco Estes MSD, and my podcast Midnight Social Distortion. I just dropped an episode about Five Nights at Freddy's. You guys can check out. And you can find me also on the Altar Tapes. I just got another episode of that dropping tomorrow. And yeah, and here on the Scream Kingz.
All right. And on that note, thank you guys for coming once again. Subscribe, turn on those notifications. And remember, God is in his holy temple.
Oh my God.
Like Bobby, sing with me. God is in his holy temple. Earthly thoughts. Come on, sing along. It's okay. Bye, guys.